I'm so excited that Steph and I get to talk to you guys about a really cool tool for you guys to use all the time. Now, if you want to propel your business forward and help more people, you're going to want to start doing these client celebration calls. And if you're already doing them, that's awesome. Maybe you're going to get some great tips out of today that are really going to help you polish those skills. When Steph and I were prepping for today's call, we were talking about, this tool is actually kind of a transactional tool, but as well as a transformational tool. So we use the script that's really all laid out for us, right? It just gives us the guidelines in which to follow, but make sure that you're just really speaking from the heart, you guys, and just be genuinely interested in clients, just like we do on social media and how we show up as coaches, okay? It's just a conversation, and we're just building these wonderful relationships with people. So, and remember, as coaches, the transformational piece is where the big growth really happens within us, okay? Now, if you're doing these calls already and you're kind of in a space where you dread these celebration calls, I just really invite you to look at these in a different way. Think about it. These are your future coaches that you're celebrating. We've got this great gift that we hold in our hand as coaches. And when we can stop making this about us and really begin to want things for other people and not from them, you're going to start looking at these client celebration calls in a whole different light. Um, I always think about this and remind myself that, when we start helping people get more of what they want in return, it helps us get more of what we want in life. Now, when are we doing these calls? Typically, we're doing these at like the 1 to 2 mark, first to second week mark after clients start the program. But if you've missed that, don't worry, you can do it at any time. These client celebration calls really are all about celebrating clients on how far they've come on their health journey. And what we want to do is we really want to edify you as a coach. And we want to teach about referring and how to refer people. And we want to introduce them to coaching. So there's a lot that we go over in this call, but the beauty of it is it really only takes like 15 minutes to do these celebration calls. So let's talk a little bit about who you are going to invite to these calls. So you're going to really want to do these as a 3-way call with your business coach until those skills have been passed on. So if you've got coaches that are like blended EDs and FIBICs, they have the skills to run these calls. But if you're a blended, if you're an ED by volume, then you definitely want to have your mentor on the call with you. And here's the thing, these are not hard calls to do at all. I'm actually fully capable of running my own, but I always choose to bring on my mentor. When you get into a Zoom room and you can like really be face to face, there's so much value in that. And your clients really get that personal, like one-on-one connection and that feel of our community. And what a great way, you guys, to just really continue to build these relationships. So posturing this calls is really important as well. We already have it laid out with us with new clients that are starting the program, where we do it at that 1 week mark. And we say something like, hey, congratulations on your first week, Sarah. Now it's time to do your one week celebration call with my mentor. Does tomorrow at noon work for you? You're simply just guiding your client to the next step in their journey. And so we all have clients that we've missed, right? Doing these at the start of their journey, and that's okay. It really doesn't matter. What matters most is actually that we are making these calls happen wherever they're at in their journey. So there are plenty of milestones to celebrate. So for these clients, I found the best time actually to invite them to a celebration call is when I'm doing my weekly check-in calls. And I usually say something like, hey, Sarah, I'm so excited for how far you've come on your journey. I was totally bragging about you to my coach, and she would love to meet you and just hear a little bit about your story. And they're excited to do that, right? Like, who doesn't want to be celebrated? Okay, so where are we doing these? We can do these on Zoom or on the phone, but I'm going to be honest, you guys, these are far more effective when you can do them in Zoom. So always just posture and just assume that that's where it's going to happen. There is power in just seeing the whites of people's eyes and the smiles and the excitement on their faces on Zoom. I swear it goes a million miles farther than just hearing someone's voice on the phone. So your number one priority is to do these on Zoom whenever possible. And here's the deal. If this makes you nervous, that's okay. That's actually good. That just means there's room for growth, okay? And there's some new skills that you get to learn and polish. And really the objective of this call is to celebrate your client, introduce the larger community, go over the 4 components, maybe do a systems check. We're going to go over like referral training, drip coaching, and just really give them like what the next steps are on their journey. So I want to ask you guys, how many of you are currently doing these client celebrations already? Raise your hand. Awesome. So many people are already doing it. All right. So who's using the celebration call at the first week mark with their new clients? Raise your hand. Good, good. Such a great place to do it. Now, who maybe is using these celebration calls like after that first week? Maybe maybe you're celebrating milestones on their journey. It could be like they have shed 50 or 100 pounds, or maybe they're starting transition and you're doing it at that point. Raise of hands, who's doing those calls then? Good. Yeah. See, so many different pockets where you guys can be doing these calls. You know, when I started coaching, I have to admit to you guys, I wasn't good about doing these celebration calls. And I really had some concepts in the beginning where I thought, like, I could just do it all. I don't need any help with my clients. And I kind of just wanted to do my own thing. I mean, how many other people have been there before? And maybe you've been coaching for a while and haven't been doing these either. And that's okay. You just really start where you're at. Okay. Sometimes we get in our head that like we've missed the boat somewhere, and I'm like, what better place is to start now? And that's kind of how we coach our clients on the program, right? Because there's plenty to celebrate through a client's journey, no matter where they're at. And I just encourage you, think of these calls as just another great way to connect, bring the community, celebrate the wins, invite them to coaching, like all the good stuff that they get to just experience, you know, from doing these calls. And here's the deal. When I actually started doing these calls with my mentor, I totally underestimated, one, how fun they are, two, how excited my clients were to actually share their story, their victories with someone totally different than me. And I think like adding that extra layer for them in our community is just absolute gold. And this allows me, or it allowed me to really kind of like hear how my mentor was talking about referrals and like how they had the coaching conversation and how they were able to drip that through this call. And it really helped me start to like build that confidence with inviting clients to coaching. And this piece has actually really helped bring in that extra layer of invitation from a third party in a way that is totally different how I'm having that conversation with them, you know, maybe on our weekly conversations. And it's crazy because our clients absorb things differently when it's like coming from someone else, because it's someone else's tone or body language or just the way that they delivered the same thing. So that's what I love about it. Now, I want to hear from you guys on how doing these client celebration calls has actually helped you grow your business. Who would like to take themselves off mute and share with us?